NFL picks for this week 2 of the NFL season.
Week 2, yes, very exciting. We went a little bit over how you did in week 1. Wasn't great. 1-4 to start the season. But the week of redemption is upon us. I didn't think it would have to be week 2, but here we go. You have to start somewhere.
They didn't think that in Miami either, buddy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll get to your Dolphins. Don't you worry.
Oh, we will. And remember last year, I think the week I went 0-5, didn't the next week I go 5-0, or was it vice versa?
You went. Yeah, I think you actually recovered an 0-5 with a 5-0. Because if you went 5-0 then 0-5, I would have given you more shit for that longer, I think, than I did. So yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at it first up here. The Chicago Bears, and yes, we know it says week 1.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes you just copy and paste. No, Steve, you copy and paste. That's what we do. We copy and paste sometimes.
I know.
Chicago Bears going to Detroit. We get the Lions favored, right? But giving away 6.5.
Lions are giving 6.5 at home. The Lions have a big bounce back here after getting kind of embarrassed at Lambeau last week in Green Bay in week 1. And the Bears are doing a lot of soul searching as they've been doing for about 15 years now. So this is an interesting game. While the spread is still 6.5 is a lot in the NFL.
Yeah.
But can the Lions figure their shit out? That's the question of this game.
Ranger Donald in chat says this might be a bad game. I don't disagree, but last week I was right about the Packers over the Lions. I thought, it could be a little bit of a fallback for the Lions this year, even though they're, technically I'd say my second favorite team in the NFL. But I'm going to go the reverse of that. They got a little bit of that ass kicking. Dan Campbell probably pulled them in, throttled them verbally a little bit. I think they're ready to go. I am taking the Lions, and I'm not worried about that 6.5.
All right, taking the Lions 6.5, hoping that offense gets back on track. And yeah, Ranger, this might be a bad game. The thing about week 2 is historically it kind of full of shit games, Ken. So, but anyway, we're gonna make the best of it. This is just how these go. So, let's go to game number 2.
Game number 2, we got ourselves the New York Football Giants traveling to the palace of Jerry Jones. The Cowboys favored at home, giving away 4.5 points. What is that here?
Yeah, Cowboys are giving up 4.5 at home after a pretty close game against Philly in week 1. The Giants are, again, kind of a ship lost at sea at the moment. We're going to see if Russell Wilson completes this game as the starting quarterback of the Giants. There's a lot of chatter that we might see Jackson Dart depending on how this game goes. New York's offensive line is really bad. Malik Neighbors is probably their best offensive weapon. They have some decent pieces on defense, but this Giants team is not quite ready yet. This is a get-right game for Dallas. If it's not, then Dallas is going to get loud about how much trouble they're in.
Yeah, I know that feeling. That's why I'm thinking at home. I think they're going to stop by some Whataburgers on the way in. I think Jerry's going to treat them all to Whataburgers to inspire them. I don't trust the New York Football Giants yet. Maybe some good things going on down the line. Who knows? But I'm going Cowboys. I am going Cowboys straight away. Pick them.
A little easier, not as many points this time. 4.5 isn't too bad. So yeah, I think that's a good pick. I would pick the Cowboys there too.
You take the Cowboys. Okay, now I know we're in good company there for that. Then if I'm picking that, picking that there. And again, for those who just watch, and I clip these out for fun and put these on the channel. I've been a lifelong football fan, but never been a betting expert. Never been a football expert. I go with the gut, man. I go with what Madden, football video games, and my gut tell me about these games. Next one up here, we got an absolute big one. I think potential marquee. Right? What do we got?
This is the Kirk Cousins Bowl. It's too bad he's going to be sitting on the bench the whole time. I love this. I'm excited
his trad
for this.
Wife watching in the stands. Sorry, there I said it. There I said it.
No, so we've got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy excited everybody with his big fourth quarter last week in his NFL debut. Vikings have a good team. The big question was whether or not J.J. was ready for the reins. He's got a nice big weapon in Justin Jefferson, probably the best wide receiver in the league. So 3.5 points is not a lot. That's Vegas saying we sure aren't quite ready if J.J. McCarthy is good yet, but we know the Falcons aren't great. So 3.5 points is a pretty safe spread for these two teams that are, again, we're kind of still feeling out how good they are. Yeah. Falcons, young quarterback, young team, but man, Bijan Robinson, the running back for the Falcons, is very good.
Yeah, see, and this comes down to me, the hype of Penix, who's on my team. He's my backup quarterback. I tried trading him to Lauren Romo in our league for a wide receiver, but in the end, I was like, I don't think I need Tyreek Hill that much. So to me, this is a hype bowl, right? Which one of these emerging players are going to have a great season? Bijan Robinson, is it continue? Is it one of those, wow, this is a giant step forward? Is Penix taking the reins? Or is Kirk Cousins the quarterback by week 5? God bless. We hope so. Or is JJ McCarthy gone? I almost want to get cute, Steve. I almost want to get cute and pick the Falcons to cover. Nah, I think the Vikings at home, they're going to blow that Viking horn and win big.
I'm taking the Vikings at home. Jaden McCarthy keeps it up. I think that's a pretty good pick. I mean, this is a we don't know yet game. This is a early season. How for real are these teams? How good are either of these quarterbacks? This game might be totally meaningless by week 10 once the league's figured either of these guys out, but we don't know. But Vikings have a good coach, so that's kind of one of the knowns. We think the Vikings have a good coach.
Like him, and just to be clear, everyone, Kirk Cousins is a sweetheart. I think he's a sweetheart. Okay, all right. I don't want to know what he posted this week. All right. We got 2 games left, but this is perhaps this is the marquee matchup of week 2. Your Philadelphia Eagles. I love that some stranger on the internet on that clip last week said, spoken like an average Eagles fan. Your Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Kansas City to take on the Patrick Mahomeses. Chiefs favored?
The Chiefs are underdogs at home. As of now, I made this graphic earlier today. This is, I believe, the first game the Chiefs will be a home underdog in, I think, like 3 years or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so coming off of a fresh ass whooping in the Super Bowl back in February, the Eagles are traveling to Kansas City. This has been, these two teams have been, aside from the Super Bowl, this has just always been a big game because of Andy Reid. But the fact that we have the Super Bowl rematch is always an extra wrinkle. I wish we could play these bastards in Philly for once, because the last 2 games have been in Kansas City. But 1.5 points, the Eagles having to give up 1.5 points in a away game, that's tough.
Do they call this the Andy Reid Chicken Tendies Bowl? Is this is what we got? Okay.
They should.
Love
Andy Reid. Miss Andy Reid.
I do love Andy Reid and his walrus mustache. Real Craig Statler of the NFL. There's a reference for you folks. I had lunch today with the wonderful Mark Ellis, who's currently right now, as we record live, fretting what's going on over there in the Washington Green Bay game. He said something that I'm just going to piggyback on. He phrased a question. This was a question, Steve, that he didn't have the answer to. And I don't know if we have the answer, but I think the game will answer it. Will the Eagles show up and say, it's been fun, your dynasty's over, and show it right here on the road in Kansas City? And driving home, I knew you were going to choose this game. Steve, you'll be happy to say I think the answer is yes. I am going with the Eagles, and I think it'll be close, but not that close.
Yeah, 1.5 point spread is nothing really to worry about there. It's who's going to win. 1 point games happen, but yeah. I think I appreciate your optimism as an Eagles fan and someone who follows this team a lot. You can actually see right off my camera the best $30 I spent at 2 a.m. was a Eagles replica Super Bowl ring from this last year.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's heavy. It's so heavy. Anyway. We have some questions for the Eagles. On defense specifically, they don't have a number 2 cornerback. The defensive line, hopefully Jalen Carter doesn't spit in anyone's face and get ejected for the rest of the game. Number 2 safety has some questions. If Patrick Mahomes throws the ball at whoever Adoree Jackson, cornerback for the Eagles, is covering, they will score 50 points. So I think this game has a potential to be a little bit of a shootout, even though the Eagles blanked the Chiefs all, for all intents and purposes in the Super Bowl until garbage time. I think this is going to be way more competitive than the Super Bowl. I don't think either team necessarily got better over the offseason. I think both teams may have, on paper, gotten a little bit worse. The Chiefs just got older, and the Eagles, when you win a Super Bowl, people go get bigger contracts elsewhere. That's just kind of what happens. So you have to reload a little bit. So we will see what the reigning Super Bowl champions do against the fighting Taylor Swift, Mr. Taylor Swifts. And we'll see what happens. But I'm hopeful that my Eagles can pull this out, but I won't be surprised. The Chiefs lost game 1. They're not in panic mode yet, but they have a lot of salt in their mouth, I would imagine, after the Super Bowl. This game means a hell of a lot more to them than it does the Eagles. So even if the Eagles do lose, as long as they put up some fight, I'm not going to be crying in my beer too much.
I believe, and speaking of crying in my beer, the final game. That we should stop with the Eagles and Kansas City matchup. That is the marquee matchup of the season. Definitely the week, maybe the season, I should say. But we're gonna go to Miami. We're gonna go to my Dolphins here. Steve, what do we got?
What the hell is going on in Miami, Ken? And how the hell are they favored by 1.5 points? That is probably the best positive thing you have to hold on to here. Ken, the New England Patriots are traveling to Miami, two teams that both looked pretty bad in week one. The Dolphins are favored by 1.5 points at home. This is if you lose this game, the morning radio shows all over Monday and Tuesday are going to be firing your coach. They're going to be trading Tua. They're going to be putting Tyreek Hill in jail. They're going to be wondering when the owners are going to die. It's going to be 5-alarm fire, tear the franchise down and rebuild it. The Patriots have a brand new coach, Mike Vrabel, who was the coach in Tennessee for a while. He's a good coach, famous who played for the Patriots. Drake May is an emerging young quarterback. People think the Patriots may have already surpassed you on their young quarterback because people are worried that Tua might be broken, all this kind of stuff. People are calling the Dolphins, teams are calling the Dolphins about trading for Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins are saying no. It is absolute chaos going on in Miami, Ken, but yet they are favored by 1.5 points, and that doesn't happen for no reason. At least Vegas, if anyone's going to believe in you, Ken, Vegas is not a bad ally to have.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Steve, because here's my pick. Here is my pick. The hat is on. We always play New England good at least once a season. Even when it was the peak of Belichick and Brady, man, there was always one game, Wildcat game, that year that Brady broke his knee on play one and we won the division. We always have one good game against them a year. This is the game. Do I think Mike McDaniel will last the season? I actually like the guy. I hope he does. Do I think Tyreek ends the season with us? I don't know. I'd be open to trade packages. That's all I'll say. But I absolutely think we're going to rebound. They had a players-only meeting on Tuesday. That they're serious, right? When you players to come in on their day off to chat, they're ready. I do like the Patriots. I do like their coaching situation now. I know there was a lot of different regime last year that maybe didn't work out as good. I don't know if it was all his fault, Gerard Mayo. But Dolphins, I think it's going to be a good game, competitive game. I mean, not for anyone else in the league, just us fans who like to watch it. And I'm going Dolphins with pride, Steve, with pride.
Always with, I mean, I don't think you've ever taken them without the pride, but yeah, taking the Dolphins, and this time it's they're favored by 1.5 points, so we can't call it too much of a homer pick, but so I have to ask you then, Ken, what is Monday morning? I want to ask you two scenarios here. Monday morning, your Dolphins win. Okay, you win. Doesn't matter, close game, big game, you won. You pulled it out, you won.
Yeah, you won.
You've got Buffalo coming up the week after.
Yeah.
And so is your feeling like, okay, if we win this game, we kind of see how this goes out? Or like, at what point does Mike McDaniel need to start calling Lululemon to like line up the sponsorship deal for his next job? Is it if they lose the Patriots? Is if they lose to the Bills, lose to the Jets?
Here's the thing. Yes, I still hold true to our discussion last week. If they lose this week, all right. So I know your question is about. Okay, let me answer your question. We wake up Monday. We've got to win. We're 1-1. We know we can breathe a sigh of relief. We know that we're going to be 2-2 after week 4 because we know we're going to lose to Buffalo, but we're going to go to that Monday night game with the Jets and we're going to win. And we have a little more confidence. The team feels good. Everyone's dancing on the plane ride into Buffalo. Like we're good. We're good. We're good. Mike gives another one of his wonderful answers. We found the opportunity at hand and we took that hand and we made the opportunity be in our hand. Like he's going to say one of those great quotes at a press conference. But if we wake up and there's a loss, I do think this is an 0-4 start, and I hold to that Monday night game being his last game.
So everything hinges on the Jets. That's your fate is probably going to come down to the Jets. And if it was literally any other team than the Jets, I would say because you're penciling that game and if we beat the Patriots, we'll beat the Jets. That's how you're going to lose that game because that's just how sports works. You can't pencil in wins ever. Yes. It is the kiss of death, even though I'm not a superstitious person. But I'm rooting for you if it makes you feel any better, because I hate the Patriots, but B, I am rooting for your happiness, for your team.
Thank you.
A little part of me, I love Dan Marino growing up as a kid.
Sure.
So I want to see your Fish do well. I have no beef with the AFC for the most part, especially that part of it. So yeah, I hope they do well. But I think there's a better chance than not that your coach will be getting paid by Lululemon by Thanksgiving.
I think he'll be a special consultant to the San Francisco 49ers by December. But I'm not the first to say that. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him. I like Mike. I like Mikey M. I really do like him. All right, that is our look at NFL picks.